But
like,
okay, so like for me, like for me, I can't sense shit. You know, like. So Oklahoma, that's why.
That's why they have that.
But you know, I know some people.
Not bad for some small town gallant morons, and we may not be famous, but somehow you heard of us.
Hey, welcome back to Shop Talk. This week we'll be discussing Dr. Sleep. So, Dr. Sleep is 2019 drama fantasy. It's about 2 hours and 32 minutes, rated R. Yeah, so the director was Mike Flanagan, and the budget for this movie was around $45 million. It made $72.3 million in the box office. It's in the Shining series. Like it's a sequel to The Shining. Yeah.
And Ewan McGregor, who actually, I didn't know this till you told me, is the,
he's the
kid.
kid.
He's the kid from the original movie. Did you know that?
Yeah, just when you told me that last time.
I didn't know that.
It's pretty cool.
So anyways, it's based off of him as an adult, and it talks about, it gives like a brief summary of him growing up with The Shining.
Yeah.
And it talks about how he struggles with like alcoholism and his like psychic abilities. And it talks about like the trauma that was caused behind everything that from the hotel with his dad dying and everything else.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that came with it. Like I guess the people that feed off The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, what do they call them in the movie? True Knot. True Knot,
yeah.
I think.
They had a name?
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, so with the cast, you had Ewan McGregor, which is Danny Torrance, Rebecca Ferguson, who's Rose the Hat. It's a terrible name.
She's such like a badass character to have.
Yeah, she's
name of a name.
Yeah,
you know?
she's pretty badass. Kayla. Kieran. She's Abra Stone.
Dude, she was
She's kicking some ass.
She's a bad
bitch. That shit was crazy.
Carl Lumbly is Dick Halloran. Yeah. Anyway, you want to read the description?
Who was Crow Daddy? Was that Cliff?
Crow Daddy.
Oh, Zahn McLaurin.
Yeah, because he was
Crow Daddy.
He kind of played. Yeah, that's such.
Yeah,
he some like weird names, but he played a significant role in it too. You know what I mean?
Well, they all have like those weird little like gang names. You know what I mean? Like they're little. Like,
yeah, it's like some like you would.
Yeah, and it fit their gang because they're like hippies, like gypsies almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it didn't fit like a street gang from LA, like where you're like spooky and spider. But
yeah,
it was
they
like,
kind of reminded me of vampires too.
Yeah,
like how they kind of had to feed.
Well, I guess essentially they were, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
like a modern.
It's not blood, but like,
well, and it was crazy how like old they were. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they were super old. Like they were from
like the original guy. Was
all
from,
that
like,
old guy. He
was from like the 1800s.
Yeah.
Well, so as I finished, because when I told you about it, I hadn't finished the movie, and I was saying he was like from the 1800s, but later on, remember when he, sorry, spoiler, we'll get to it, but remember when he dies, but she was like describing, she's like, oh, you've seen empires rise and fall and going all
so
through
that's
that. So
what
I was like, holy shit, is this dude?
Is he
she was talking about
than,
Romans and shit. And I was like, damn, maybe this dude is way older. So yeah, I don't know how old exactly they were, but they're pretty old.
Do you want to
anyway,
give like a little brief description?
Yeah. Hit us with a description of this movie.
So pretty much, it's what it is like I said, it's Ewan McGregor. His character is kind of like a struggling alcoholic who, I guess, at a point in his life when he gets, he does find sobriety. Is that a word? Sobriety.
Yeah, sobriety.
After he has like this traumatic incident with.
Or at first he struggles with sobriety.
Yeah, because in the beginning, it's weird because that's like the connection he has to his dad because his dad was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
But so he pretty much ups and leaves after he's hooked up with this girl, and kind of she's like OD'd or something.
Yeah, I thought at first I thought she was just like passed out drunk.
That's what I thought till it went back.
I thought she was just fucked up, but I think she OD'd, and then he left that. She was dead.
Yeah, and then he left the kid on the bed with her, and the kid ends up dying.
Died.
But anyways,
I don't know if that's actually what happened, but that's
I felt like
that's what I got out of it.
Yeah.
So then it talks about how,
Which would that be murder?
I wondered.
I don't think so, right?
I think
Maybe like a homicide.
Kind of
I think it would be
slaughter.
Yeah,
because
No,
he didn't
I don't
say
know.
anything. He left the kid pretty much to
Well,
fend for himself.
no, I mean he gave him Cheez-Its.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
sufficient.
That's okay.
But anyways, so from that point, he's obviously struggling with his addiction. Do you know what the town he's in? I don't remember the town that he goes to. I just remember it's like tiny something that they talk about the little train and stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I think he forgot the part where he kind of discovered the powers that he has, or when the guy that follows him around.
Oh yeah, when he was a kid. Remember,
he was a kid, and he finally conjured up the power to go against his worst nightmare.
Yeah, he kept putting those demons to sleep.
I was gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Putting him in
You didn't even let me. I was trying to give you the description of what's going on.
Two scenes down, and then we gotta go back to the front.
No, this is the intro, bro. This is like the very. Come on, man. Let me just.
I don't think
It's not the very intro, but whatever. I was just trying to give you a description of what's going on here, okay?
Okay.
Just let me talk. But anyways, he goes to this town, and as Kyler was saying, he does have this ability to. Are they all called this the True Knot?
No,
they just call them like
special.
special that they call it the Shine or something.
Well, he calls it the Shining.
Yeah.
He all of them don't do that. It's just him. He says he calls it the Shining.
Yeah.
And it's just like his ability for like
his
psychicness.
Yeah. So his Jedi.
Ewan McGregor is pretty much a Jedi in this movie again.
Who was his?
It's kind of like his banishment.
I don't want to say imaginary friend, but who was his mentor? What did he call him? Tony?
Tony, yeah.
So what Kyler was saying is, and if any of you guys have watched The Shining, the original one, he's in there briefly, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen The Shining in so long.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while.
I don't know.
I thought he's the old man that knows he's in trouble.
Oh, the one that Jack kills?
Yeah.
Oh,
isn't that him?
Maybe.
I don't remember. Dude.
So,
it's been so long since I watched The Shining.
I don't know. From what I got from this movie is...
I did like The Shining, though. It's a good fucking movie.
I didn't watch The Shining till like last year. It's the first time I ever watched it. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, for you, I guess.
Was it okay? So, was The Shining scary to you when you watched it last year?
Not as scary as this movie was to me.
I think,
but
like,
for different reasons.
Yeah.
The Shining was scary. It was real jumpy for its time. Like there was a lot of moments where it just kind of like something would pop out. Yeah, you know what I mean. But this movie, like I was telling Cody, I was like, this movie was just like terrifying to me because like they just
the elements of it.
Like the elements that led up into like they just killed kids like with no regard whatsoever.
Red rum.
Yeah, exactly.
Red rum.
So
my little nephew says that shit, dude.
That's creepy.
He'll tell my sister. He'll be like,
"Red, lock him up."
Red. My was like, "Yo, that's not normal."
But so his mentor kind of taught him this unique trick to, in his mind, almost imprison these
demons.
Even call them demons.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would call them.
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Put him to sleep.
I think put him to sleep. But anyways, I think you would call him ghost because it seems like he said
more ghostly than demon. Like
yeah, they would linger around and stuff, and then he'd put them away. But he gets this connection where he can. I guess they all have it. Anyone that has a shine can kind of they draw towards each other.
Yeah.
And I guess, as we saw, some are stronger than others. But I don't know how he has the connection with the girl. Do you remember? I know it's when he moves to that town and he.
I don't know. She reaches out to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like how?
I don't know. I feel like in this one, it's not like because you look at like Star Wars and it has like this huge
meaning behind it.
Well, not even that. It's just that it has like this huge universe and this huge lore. Like this one is these two movies.
Yeah.
And then the book, which is about The Shining. And I feel like it's just not as expanded on as,
I feel like they're gonna try and do another one though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they could, but I just feel like they don't go too much into it, so you kind of don't even really know. I don't know. I mean, I can't say it because I didn't read the book, and I'm sure there's tons more in the book.
Yeah.
And it probably explains a lot more than the movie ever could.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't know. Their powers are kind of.
Everyone has
just
kind of
random
different
to me.
Yeah, everyone kind of has their different.
But I kind of like that though, because everybody's good at
yeah.
certain things.
Well, I
So like the leader of the, what were they called?
the True Knots.
The True Knots. She was like able to kind of draw or like sense them.
Yeah,
She was the strongest out of their whole cult.
Yeah, and then
She
they called another one the Pusher, right?
Yeah,
so
because
where
she can make
like
people do stuff.
yeah. So I like that kind of concept
she-
where they all had
yeah.
like their own special.
Who was the
abilities.
Pusher? Was that?
That's that girl.
That's that
the
blonde
snake
chick.
bite.
She's
Snake bite
creepy.
girl. I don't know. I was like snake bite girl.
You meet a girl named Snakebite, you better run
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
in any lifetime.
But yeah, well, yeah, I thought that was super cool how they had like the.
It was like a hierarchy.
Well, not even that. Like, I just liked the idea that they were all kind of specialized in different things. You know what I mean? Like,
But
some were super psychic. And
But it
some
really
could
did
do
lead to like this
yeah.
hierarchy of like
They.
no one did anything if she said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I also liked how this little girl was just like
A badass.
she was bad, dude. How about when she played?
And she
when-
was like fearless. That's a part.
That's what I
really
like so
too.
much
She was
because-
so fearless.
I was so creeped out by a lot of the parts in this film, and it wasn't like I don't know if I was creeped out, but I just don't. I think it's for everyone. Anytime you see like a little kid being harmed, you're like, dang, like that's. It kind of like makes your stomach twist.
Yeah.
But I thought the crazy thing is when she actually reaches out to Dan, Ewan McGregor's character. She's
Mhm.
like, he's like, I seen her when they're in the little grocery store when she's buying supplies.
Oh yeah.
And
She whooped her ass too.
dude, yeah, like that was crazy.
She flew
but-
back. Yeah.
But he was like, I thought it was crazy, and I get it because from his character, he's been like so much reserved from those powers since he was a kid. You know what I mean?
He was kind of like shying away from it because
Yeah,
he was trying to get away from his nightmares. So
Yeah.
he kind of drowned it with alcohol, trying to get away from it.
Well, and I think when he went sober, like even then, he was still like he found a different life. I guess you know what I mean. He found sobriety, and it seemed like to me that he was in this moment where he was like, I can push everything else away.
Yeah.
Like my past is my past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is my new life. I'm a good person. Like even leading up to where he's working in that old folks home, like we were talking where the
Yeah,
cat-
like he uses his powers for good. Because he kind of like comforts those
Comforts
old
the
people
older
that were
people
on
before they
the
pass.
hospice.
Yeah.
Did you
And
find it ironic when so remember the first old person where the cat's there and he's like crying, he's like, it's my time, you know what I mean? And at first he's really not trying to use any of his abilities. And
Yeah, but the
guy's like losing
so
his,
scared.
you know, yeah, and he's
He's
like,
like, you're good, bro. Chill.
but he's like,
just hit this.
just, he's like, you're not gonna die. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, the cat knows when the cat's here,
Yeah.
it's their time.
But then he's like, it's gonna be it's gonna be sleep. Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
you're gonna finally get rest and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
It was dope.
That's some Obi-Wan Kenobi shit.
Yeah.
Right. And he's so calm, like, yeah.
He was. It was so weird to see him.
I thought that was pretty cool. How the cat goes into the room and the cat knows, because I guess cats. I mean, not
Well,
cats
they-
only, but like.
but they say animals have that, like,
sense.
that sense where they know where anything's like wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of with dogs too, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
with most animals. I would imagine they just have that.
That like
That
sense.
sense.
Yeah, I'm sure humans probably have it too. We're just so turned off to it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, but yeah. I mean, well, look at the society we live in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I found that part cool, like that in that scene that I was talking about when he was like, "I'm not a doctor. I need to go now." He's like, "No, doc.
Yeah.
You're right where you need to be."
Yeah.
And I think like that part didn't like really make sense to me till the end when they got to the hotel. But we'll get to that later. But do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I found it cool that in a way he was embracing that he could use the shine for a good purpose. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought it was.
And then he'll use it like a couple times after that, and then I guess what was it? The cat went into that empty room.
Where Tony is at?
Yeah,
Remember
that part was pretty dope.
That
He
was
like,
He walked in and the figure was there. He's like, oh shit.
and he just his eyes were just like,
oh, Tony!
Tony, Tony, Tony!
was pretty cool because like it kind of showed kind of more of Danny's powers.
Yeah.
And then like he was like, oh, you almost put me away forever, like like he was kind of scared. So I thought that scene was pretty cool, and like how he had to do another self reflection with him.
I have a question for both of you. Is Tony a ghost then?
Yeah.
But okay, this is why I was asking you.
I mean, he was real at one point.
But this is going back to is he the guy from the first movie?
Probably. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Jay can look it up and tell us if Tony is the same character that was supposed to be from The Shining, the original character. The reason I say is, it's kind of hard not to jump ahead because so many of these moments like they connect with further on in the movie.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, we already got through the description, so I think we could just.
So what I'm trying to say is like how Tony was his mentor, but he was a ghost.
Yeah.
How Ewan McGregor comes back after he's burned down the whole hotel, and he's a ghost.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, so he's pretty much the same thing.
He'll be her mentor throughout it.
He's that to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's what I was trying.
He came back like a Force ghost.
Dang.
In Star Wars.
It says Tony is never shown in the film, leaving his appearance entirely to the imagination.
Oh.
Maybe
That's what I.
Like
that's what I thought he would look like, though. I just have to say that.
I imagine Tony the Tiger.
Okay. I was joking. I didn't picture that. Yeah, okay.
That's your ghost. That's your
Food for
mentor.
thought.
Tony the Tiger.
Do you know what scene was pretty cool though? What kind of the magic scene with the little girl with Abra.
Oh, when she was
like, I could do that, and then everyone's like looking at
he's
her.
like-
She's like,
That's nice, sweetie.
He's
The magician
he
Phoenix.
was, like,
That was
all,
pretty
he was
cool.
all offended by it. And
Yeah, I was like,
they go in the house and
and then the
mom's
next scene, all the spoons are up on the roof, and then
She's
they'll
like-
just
what did she
drop.
say? Abracadabra or something, and then
Yeah.
all the spoons were all.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
I was upset about that part
Why?
because they ruined the fucking cake.
Oh.
All the spoons fell in the cake. I was like, oh, no,
Oh.
the cake. That's what I was honestly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, shit, the
I'm
cake.
gonna be honest, I didn't even notice that part. I was just like, holy shit, there's like 1 million spoons in the room right now.
Yeah, I have to say though, Ewan McGregor was fucking really good in this fucking.
Dude, I
film.
loved
Like
him in this role.
he did good, and I like the movie. And I'll say that right now. Like I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really good, and the director was like he did a good job, man. Like I like it. What was this? Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, he did a good job of not taking away from the original.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think I thought it was really.
I think
good.
it's pretty odd that the original Shining, the Stanley Kubrick film, Stephen King actually did not like it.
that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he like this?
So
one?
I wonder if he liked this one. I don't know.
Did Stephen King like this movie, Jay?
Let's just call him real quick.
Did he like Dr. Sleep?
Mike,
Call him
call him up.
Okay.
Just call
Hit him on the
real
J line.
Yeah, he's on my favorites list.
quick.
So Mike Flanagan, like that, he's directed all kinds of fucking scary movies and some pretty good ones too.
I could kind of see his style. I don't know which
Did you
movie
watch Haunting of Hill House? I think that's what it's called, Haunting of Hill House, on Netflix.
No.
It was like a series. You should watch it.
Ask me.
I know you didn't watch it. That's
No,
why I'm
ask
asking.
me.
Did you watch it?
No. It's not until you ask
Well,
me.
that was a fucking waste of
That
time.
was a build up.
It's a build-up.
You should actually. It's a really good one, dude. It was.
And he directed
impressive.
that?
Yeah, he directed
Okay.
that. What else did he
Okay.
do? He did Oculus.
It says Dr. Sleep has had some very positive reviews, and Stephen King was delighted for writer and director Mike
Wow.
Flanagan.
Dang.
That's
He
good.
even said he read Flanagan's Dr. Sleep script very carefully and decided everything he disliked about the Stanley film was redeemed in the new movie.
That is so crazy because I feel like The
That's pretty
Shining
awesome.
was, primo for its time.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was a good movie.
And it's an iconic horror.
Yeah.
Horror film. Horror film.
Horror.
No, a horror film's a porno, man. We
Horror.
horror over this.
Thing.
Anyway,
Uh,
he's like, yeah, it's.
Mhm.
You know
it's
what?
like an icon. It's a fucking classic.
Yeah.
It was, and it
Here's
felt like,
Johnny.
and it felt
I
like,
don't think that he sounded like that, but
but it felt like it though. Even the moments where like he's going back to like the hotel and he puts his face where his dad was. You know what I mean? Like, so
he directed. Like I was saying, he directed Oculus, Haunting a Hill House. I wrote him down.
I didn't really like
Ouija.
Oculus.
I
Wow, Ouija?
yeah
Really?
yeah.
For this kind of picture, I would not picture him to
doing that?
make
Yeah.
these kind of movies.
Yeah. I don't
me
think
neither.
I don't think
Me neither.
I
I've
don't know
never
how you
guessed.
say it. Is it Ouija? A
Yeah.
Ouija board?
Yeah, that's
Or
what he said.
Luigi board?
Luigi.
Luigi.
Anyway, I don't think that one was that good. It was okay.
I didn't
but,
see that one.
Never
Oculus,
seen any of
I
these.
watched it, but I don't really remember it. But I this is weird. I don't remember the film, but I don't think I didn't like it.
That makes sense.
But he does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
He did Gerald's Game, and that one's on Netflix too. I think Gerald's Game is fucking good, man.
General.
Is it scary?
No, not really.
Is
Actually,
it just a
it's
drama?
so. We're gonna get into another film here, but so like this couple goes off to this house. I don't know if it's theirs. I can't remember, but they go off this house. Nobody knows they're there, and they're like trying to spice up their sex life, right?
Oh.
And so they like.
I feel like
Do
They're
they have a
playing,
safe
like-
word?
Yeah,
Oklahoma!
Yeah, it was in Oklahoma.
Oh shit.
But he and the guy wants to try this like kinky ass shit.
feel like
So
I've
he
seen
locks
this
the
movie.
girl up. He ties her up or like puts her in handcuffs.
Yeah.
And they're getting it on and everything. Well, she freaks out. She gets pissed off. And in the middle of their fight, because they end up having a fight while they're doing that. Well, in the middle of the fight, the dude fucking has a heart attack or some shit and fucking falls down dead. And nobody knows that they're there. And then
that's
he's
all looks
dead
kinda
and she's
suspicious
fucking
for-
handcuffed.
Oh shit.
So she's like the rest of the movie. She's
she-
trying to get out of the fucking handcuffs, and she starts losing her shit and all kinds of. Dude, it's a good.
So it's like
fucking
127 hours.
movie. Yeah, kind of.
Have you seen that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
great movie.
The part where he saws his arm off. That shit was rough to watch, dude.
That was.
Because I can imagine just all the tendons and all that shit. Could you
Oh, and
imagine
hearing
cutting
it.
through there? Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Dude. Anyway,
Okay, back to the movie.
but yeah, so check out Gerald's Game. That's a good movie.
But
Shout out to
you
the
know,
director.
So this director,
like I was telling you guys, like I hate to be scared, and I think I kind of had that approach going into this film. And there was parts that really did like creep me out, but I really liked the film. I was surprised I liked it that much.
What tripped me out about the whole thing is it me and you we were talking about what movie to review, and we went through a few different ones, and you were one of the ones that was so insistent that we do this one. I thought that was kind of like I was like, really, you really want to do this?
I'll
And
be
he was
honest
like,
with you.
he was like, yeah, let's do it, and I was just like,
I think
all right, it was fucking do it.
Okay. So did you want to do this movie because did it have like a big cult following like the original Shining?
No.
no, I'll tell you why I want to do this movie. It's not like super crazy or anything, but I watched The Shining for the first time last year, and I liked it. There was moments that creeped me out, and just from when I was watching like the previews of this one, because I wanted to watch this in theaters actually, believe it or not, but I was just really curious that if they could do justice to the original film. That was my main reason why I wanted to do this one now.
Do you think it did though?
I do. I actually
Yeah.
think it topped it. I like this film better than I like The Shining.
Yeah.
And I think like the other movies we chose, like I was like, we can talk about that any other time. But I think I feel like there's very few films that like are supposed to be like scary
Yeah.
that I actually want to watch.
Yeah.
And I did want to watch this one.
Well, so and like with this movie, like I really liked the movie, and so like it wasn't scary, and I guess like I wasn't like watching it and like scared to get up and go turn off the light after.
Oh, yeah.
Or like go into the kitchen by myself. I'm like, oh,
I watched it.
but
I watched it in
like,
broad daylight. At
Hit
my
the lights
barbershop.
Oh, I
run
bet
to
you
your bed.
did.
I did today. Like
But
I was cleaning my barbershop.
You literally waited till today to watch the movie.
Well, I had to clean my barbershop
Oh
today,
my
so
God.
it was.
I did.
It was.
I had to wait.
It was super sunny outside. Window shop, lights on. I was like, Doors locked. Nothing's gonna get me in here.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
It's
Corona thing. No, but I really did. I'm not gonna lie. I had to watch it in the daylight.
So like the movie wasn't scary in like the traditional way. It's just like all of Stephen King's movies though. Like they're like, if you think about it, the idea of the movie is fucking terrifying. Like it was scary, dude. Like
we talked about
yeah,
that. Like that's the part that creeped me out so much. Is like, and it's like I told you guys when we talked in the last episode about like aliens and stuff. That stuff doesn't really bother me as much.
Yeah,
but I feel like I believe more in like ghosts and stuff like that than I do that stuff. It's not that I don't believe in that stuff. We've had that talk already. But this was terrifying. I told you like, from the beginning. We were talking about me and Cody, and I was like, it's terrifying to think about this movie.
Yeah, and so for me, like, I'm the opposite. Like, I think an alien situation is more realistic than ghosts. Mm-hmm. But that's just my opinion. But I find both of them equally terrifying. Because like if ghosts are real, like that's scary as shit. You know, if demons are real, that's scary as shit. But like I feel like aliens too, like something from another world coming in and kidnapping you and yeah. You get the finger in the butt, dude. Like you ain't gonna like that. But I think the idea behind the movie, like they're fucking literally kidnapping kids. Like the villain in this movie, like they're like kidnapping kids and murdering kids and eating them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
it was like they were kidnapping for like the smallest ability too. Like
the
guy was
like
scouting
for
like
fucking high.
You know, like the
kid that could read minds, so he knew how to hit the baseball.
Yeah.
Dude, could he read minds though? I mean, like they never really confirmed that. I mean, like
obviously. Because...
I mean, like they were just like, oh, this kid can, you know, he reads the picture. And then,
but they know what to look for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, like it's like a small ability, you know.
Well,
so
I don't think that's why they were after him.
I think they were just scrapping.
He just had the ability. So, and anybody who has the ability, they can feed off of. It doesn't matter.
But okay, so it kind of seemed like everyone in this film had the ability. Actually, no, never mind. I take that back. Besides his friend. His best friend, yeah.
Well, no, yeah. It's like
because the older people when they died, there's the what is it called?
Well, he can see their essence. I don't think it
was necessarily the shining. He can tell when their spirit has left. Like
because so when homeboy shot himself, his best friend, nothing came out though. Or I don't know.
Maybe it was just like I don't know. Maybe
it was just a quick scene that they were trying to because if you notice after he shot himself. They went straight back to Snake.
Yeah,
that was a pretty good plan,
dude,
though. That they had.
That shit blew my mind, dude. When she was like, right as she was dying, she was like,
"Kill yourself."
Yeah, I didn't think he was.
Oh my god, I know.
That one caught me off guard, dude. I was like, "Oh shit!" I
was telling my brother, I was like, "This guy always dies in all the movies." It was like, does he ever survive in any movie?
Pablo Escobar.
Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's his brother. Remember, he's all whooping his ass.
Yeah. He's in Pablo Escobar. He plays Pablo Escobar in Blow.
Yeah,
that's why I just pictured him. I just kept calling him Pablo Escobar all the time.
But
like that part fucking got me off guard.
But tell me, like, how crazy was it that she knew how strong Abra was, and she was like, "We have to kill her."
Yeah, well, she didn't want nobody to challenge her.
But yeah, you know what I mean. But Crow Daddy was like,
"Well, shouldn't we turn her?" And she was like,
"No,
nope."
She was like,
"No one will be stronger than
her."
Now,
what did she say? Like years or something?
Yeah, and so the crazy part on that was when Ewan McGregor was like, "You need to lay low. These people will."
Yeah, he was legit scared.
Like he was, and then she was like, "Okay," and then literally that night she lets that girl in her mind, and then how about when she?
That was a fucking
scene, dude. Great scene. Like I was like,
that was probably my favorite scene in the entire movie.
I was in the shop watching this. Yeah, that was probably my favorite part. Yeah. When she sat up and so she comes down off of her.
I have a cathedral.
Yeah, she comes down into her house and in her mind, and she's like,
I like how they did that.
That was dope. Yeah. That reminds me of that book. We were talking about this. I'm gonna have to.
And then Abra just wakes up as Nicki Minaj with like different hair.
Dude, she like Nicki Minaj. And there's like no eye. And she's
that was
like,
pretty creepy.
Yeah, she's like, cool. "Oh, you fucked up." And then she has her hand in the little file cabinet. And she's all, "Boom!" And she jumps in her mind.
Yeah, and then she was like trying to get it out. That was pretty.
How about when
I really like that scene.
But I think what was pretty creepy about that scene too is her flipping through the
Yeah,
like
Dude,
all
like how
fast.
fast she was going through, like finding who they were. And
Yeah.
she's like, and then she's like, Uncle Dan, I know who they were. And then like the part she was like, she was terrified. That kind of made you scary too.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, is she
Well,
gonna
and
trip? Or is she gonna flip for like?
Well, that's what I was saying. Because remember the girl, she was like, you're just like me. The only difference is time or something like that. Like I seen that, and that like for me, I seen that. I was like,
you can
I
see,
feel like this
especially
girl
when she
could
got the
easily
filing
fucking
cabinet, and she
flip.
was like,
Because
boom.
she enjoyed
enjoyed
hurting
that
those
too.
fucking people.
How about like when all of them died?
Like she stood over that one,
Yeah,
and she was like,
her man,
I hope
Pro
it
Daddy, and
hurts.
she was like, I hope it hurts just like you hurt those people.
yeah,
And then
Okay.
she's there, and she's like, you little bitch, and she just walks straight through her.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm afraid
Fuck
of
you.
vengeance. she's like, I'm afraid of no ghosts.
I'm afraid of ghosts.
But I feel like she could easily.
She could have flipped
Flip,
either way,
yeah.
but she was such a dope character.
I feel like
And
that would be a good sequel, is if she ends
and
up.
she ends up turning into.
Yeah,
But I'll tell you what.
I don't
like,
think she will.
I don't know how you can kind of follow that up. Well,
Well,
I guess you
they
can.
kind of left it open too, though. Dude, like when he was when.
But I mean,
Well,
she has
no,
a
it seems
mentor
pretty
now.
close. Yeah, it
so
seemed pretty
no,
close.
well, I'm not saying for her to flip, but they left it open for there to possibly be another film. Because
I don't know. I feel like they closed it pretty well.
I don't think so. Because when
I
remember
feel
the
like
end
they
when
did
she's
because
like-
the whole reason was the hotel.
Yeah,
yeah,
That
but,
was
but
the whole.
no, but
But
remember when
that brings up a good point.
she
Put it.
put a pin in it? Hold
Yeah.
on. Remember the part where she's like finishing off the lady and she's like, "I'm not the only one. If you think it stops here."
Yeah.
So that's what made me think like maybe they won't. Maybe they'll table it and this will
Yeah,
be
I
it. But
guess.
they left it. There's a possibility.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
You know what
always.
I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, they did do that. Like I feel like they closed the story really well, but they did leave it open.
Enough to where if they
Well,
wanted
enough,
to dabble
yeah,
with
yeah,
it, they could. That's what I was trying to say.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
like I get your
But
point.
like,
where-
I would, me personally, I'm totally fine. I was totally fine with the first one. Like that is
That was
iconic
enough.
movie,
Yeah.
you know. And the second one, I'm so glad that it lived up to it. So I'm totally fine with the second one.
Which
If
is so
Hollywood
rare
does
too.
what Hollywood needs
Yeah.
to do just for money, and then make
it's
these
very
different-
rare that you find a sequel that you really like.
Yeah,
Better
and
or
especially in
equal
this
to.
category
Yeah.
as well.
So
Yeah,
remember,
yeah.
so remember we talked about this in the last episode where we talked about CGI. So the parts that they used the effects in this film were amazing. The things that I was a little let down on was like the scene with his dad. When he's back in the
Oh, I
hotel.
know, man.
Because
They
I
didn't
was
even
like,
have,
they could
what's
have
his
like,
name?
The bartender.
Yeah, well, that was supposed to be his dad.
but
Yeah.
yeah, because the bartender,
Who's the original guy who played him? What's his fucking name?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
But so the bartender is always the person that takes over the hotel.
Yeah.
So if you looked in the picture before, the bartender was that guy in the middle
Mm-hmm.
in the first movie. But then when he takes over the essence, he's the new guy.
Yeah.
But like I feel like okay, do you remember Tron when they remade Tron?
Oh,
They
that was
CGI.
trash.
That was garbage.
But no, but you get what I'm saying, like the part where they CGI his face on him.
Yeah.
Like they could have done that, and I feel like the
I
technology.
really, dude, that actually really threw me off that they did not do
That
that.
they
I
didn't
was
do that, right?
really,
I feel like that would have
I
been
was-
amazing.
Yeah, I was expecting
Didn't
that.
you
Like,
think that
I
would've been
really
better?
thought they were gonna do that.
I don't
I
know.
Like the
See,
guy
that's
looked
kinda-
similar to Jack
Yeah,
Nicholson,
but
not enough
that-
to me.
The
that
mom
kinda-
looked really similar,
The mom?
and she and her, like her
That
the
was
way that
actually-
her
that was the mom.
speech.
It was actually her.
No, it's not. She's how old is
Just
she now?
kidding.
But
like,
you know,
I'm
and
not
the way that she talked, even though she only had like 2 lines, it just seemed exactly like her.
But I just feel like with Jack Nicholson's part, since it was longer than hers, you know what I mean? They could have easily been like, let me CGI his face, get Jack Nicholson in here to voice over it.
Yeah, I
You know what I mean?
really, really thought that they were gonna do that. I was super surprised.
Were
that
you
they didn't do
guys,
that.
did you like, so remember the conversation at the bar where he's talking about how he's like, Mom died. I thought you should know. He's like, you must have me mistaken. Until he finally really brings out his
Yeah,
Yeah, it was actually
That
so-
part was intense. Like that part,
Smacks the glass.
that part like creeped me out because
I didn't even get it when they were driving back, and he was like, "We gotta take it back." He's like, "We gotta go to Colorado," and I was like,
I knew.
sounds
it-
really
I knew
familiar.
exactly where they were going.
And then and then I was like, "They're going back to the original hotel."
So that brings me back to my
Take
put a
the
pin
pin
in
out.
it. I'm taking the pin out.
Okay.
We're going in. So this movie was super long. Like it was,
It was
like an
2
hour,
hours and 30 minutes long.
Yeah, it was a long ass fucking movie. But it was good. It actually didn't seem that long when you're watching it. You know,
No,
because you
it
get so
really
invested in the movie. But they built up a fucking fantastic movie beforehand, and then there was mad fan service in this movie to The Shining. You know what I mean? But they built up this fantastic movie, pretty much played out this huge, fantastic fucking movie, and then we're like, all right, everybody's invested, and now it's time. Throw in all that fan service, and then they just like
just go back.
It was just rushed in, dude.
Yeah.
But it was good, and it wasn't
like
too
when,
much, and it wasn't from the beginning.
Like when
you
she
built
walked-
a good story.
When what's the leader of the cult's name?
Rose the Hatter or some shit. The Hatter, man.
The Hatter Rose.
Hatter.
When she walks into the hotel and
Rose the Hat.
Rose the Hat. So
Oh,
when
then the blood.
yeah, when she walks in and the elevator's like, and she's seeing all these things,
Yeah.
and then she gets to the typewriter.
Oh,
and she thinks that she's in Abra's mind, but she's actually in his, and it's like, dang, dude, he played that so well. I thought that was amazing.
See, and I like that. You knew from like Ab was powerful as fuck. You know what I mean? But like, it doesn't ever make Danny's character like super overpowering.
Yeah,
which was pretty cool. But he is.
But he actually was a really powerful.
He's very powerful, but like he's not like. He's. Just,
I think it would. I think so. How I kind of interpret that is, he was a lot more powerful when he was a kid. And he suppressed a lot of his power
with
over
drugs and fucking alcohol. Like, he wanted to, though, because that was his way of getting away from it and staying quiet. Because that's what he told her.
Because, I mean, that's what the Lady Rose said. The only difference between us is time, right?
Yeah.
So, I think, like, she's just super powerful. I think she'll probably... I don't know if the power's dull over time.
But I don't think so. I think he was just... I don't think he was as strong as Rose or
Abra. No.
But I don't think he was...
weak either.
I think he was stronger than any other person. I think he was stronger than any other person in her cult. I really do.
I think it was probably like equal. But
I think he was stronger than them. I really do. And the reason I just think like he had so much ability, but he chose not to use a lot of it. You know what I mean? And the other thing I thought was, it just. I found it like fascinating that like remember when he's talking to Tony as a kid and he's like,
that was a good conversation.
One day you'll do this for someone else, and he's like, no, I won't. And that's where he kind of goes into the suppressing of The Shining, and he talks about how I liked how they said it was like a radio frequency, like you could hear all these things, and he talked about like for him, his was always death. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like he
could sense before it happened.
Yeah, like remember he talked about his mom, the flies. The flies, he was like by the end of it, he was like I couldn't even look at her and she knew.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just like
I really like how they said I really like how they set up all these different characters like powers, and I really like how they explained it. Like they explained it really well. They gave a good reasoning behind everything. Like it was good, man. One thing though, like I feel like the underlying message in the movie, I guess in a way, was like this, like it was addiction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you start thinking about it, and like Danny's addicted to drugs and alcohol, but to suppress his, his shining. He's shining. He's trying to he doesn't want to draw attention to himself. He doesn't want to feel any of that. So he's addicted to drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. And then you have the whole sobriety thing, and his journey to get clean and all that stuff. But then you have the true knots, and they're fucking addicts too.
They are,
because they're addicted to life. To life.
Yeah, really
exactly.
Is
to life and being youthful and all that shit. Mm-hmm. And they're addicted to that. I mean, it's become a drug. For them. Yeah, so they feed off of it, and I feel like the whole movie, everything is about fucking addiction.
It really was.
Like it's literally a movie about addiction.
I agree. I thought it was just crazy that I don't know, maybe we just think a lot alike, but I kind of felt that way too, and I felt like the other story behind that was how people just push away what's really going on.
Oh, yeah, you suppress your problems.
Because even when he found sobriety, he was still
struggling with it.
Struggling with the fact that he had these powers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole time he was he got sober he was
originally
helping
he didn't
out.
even want to help the girl. Like he was like, no, just keep your fucking head down.
He's like, just
yeah,
stay low.
this is fucking good.
Hopefully they never find you.
Yeah.
So did you guys like how? So you guys like how you guys think this is it? Like this is the final.
Yeah.
Like they won't. Did you like how they ended it?
Yeah,
I do.
So
Are you pleased?
okay, so let me. There was a few parts that I didn't like.
That's what I was gonna get to.
Towards the end, I felt like for this chick being so powerful, like the battle between her was like super fucking easy. They
could have drawn. I think they could have drawn that out more. Yeah.
Yeah, like they kicked her ass pretty easily. Like she
Really?
came in, she did some weird shit, walked around that maze, and then he brought out the ghost, and they just fucking ate her, and then she was
it.
done. Yeah,
And then they ate him.
yeah, and then they ate him.
Yeah.
But like I was like, oh well, that was
quick.
That was fucking easy. You know what I mean? But and then
So
there's another
would
part.
would you have liked a battle between Abra and her for a bit?
Yeah, that would have been
Okay.
super cool.
That makes
I
sense.
think if they would have just stretched it out to where they battled.
It's kind of like a weird way that they battled.
Yeah,
right?
so I
feel
think if
that
they would
would've
have
been
battled,
kinda
if they would have
cheesy.
battled in his mind. I liked the battle in his mind. I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah,
But then I think if she would have stepped in and battled in her mind, or then like if they both were engulfed in her mind afterwards. So I know that sounds really complex, but if they like the battle would have went longer.
Oh yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from his mind to Abra's mind to Rose's mind, I think it would have been like intense because you would have got these other different battlegrounds. Like we saw when he took her into his mind, it was like this whole The Shining. You know what I mean? The original movie, The Maze. You know, so and then I would have loved to see what Abra's would have been.
Yeah.
And what Rose's would have been. You know what I mean?
Their backstories of when they kind of realize their powers.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
okay, then Cody said what he disliked. What did you dislike?
What did I dislike? Shoot. I honestly loved every aspect of the ending, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I was
Because
with you
they
on that.
because they paid so much homage to everything.
Yeah,
and then they
I liked the movie.
and
That
then they
was just
didn't
one
make
thing
the original ghosts look so weak, you know. They made them fucking badasses. How they just like
She's a nasty old
They're
woman. See
like-
what I mean about old people?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to
Like,
comment
they're-
like that, but
what,
yeah.
what did he say? She was like, you have some ghost in your, or you have, I don't know what she said, but he's like,
ghost in my boot.
but he was like,
All
no,
over.
they're just hungry, and then
Oh,
he was
yeah,
just
yeah,
right
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and I was like, oh shit,
Like it was a cool part. I
Yeah.
liked the part. I just was kind of like, oh well, that
The
was,
fight scene could have drug out
it
more.
built up to,
Um,
and then I was like, oh, that was easy.
So
I guess I can't say I disliked it. I just was like,
it could have been.
I didn't expect it to end so quickly. As
Uh-huh.
I guess one part though that I straight up did not like, and I feel like this was a kind of like, I don't know, maybe this is just me nitpicking, and I feel like I kind of had to do that with this movie to find anything because I really liked the movie. I thought it was really good.
I did too.
Was when they are fighting and they're fighting actually in person, not in their minds, but she grabs him and like throws him.
Uh-huh.
And he like fucking flies.
Yeah.
Like she just grabbed him like she was fucking Superman and threw him.
Just
I'm like,
flung him.
okay, like I get they have powers, but they don't have like superhuman strength.
Yeah.
So like why did
I would have liked
why
to
did
see.
she why did he
So when she
fly
hit
like
that
that?
main
That
artery,
was-
if she would have grabbed him and just thrown him down the stairs, not like exactly what you're saying, because then that would have been like, oh well, yeah, that's realistic. You just got stabbed.
yeah.
This girl threw you. You're gonna
You were
go
rolled
do
down
that.
the stairs.
You know what I mean? That
But
would
she like fucking picked his ass up and chucked him, and he
So-
like flew, and I was like, well, where did this super strength come from? You know what I mean?
So I'll say-
So I guess I'm kind of nitpicking, but I mean,
So on the opposite end, like, if I have to pick something that I disliked, it was all the kid scenes. The one kid scene where the kid died in the.
I was a little baby.
That
That's
was
the
probably
thing with Stephen
the-
King. He's not afraid to,
Well, he's
to
not,
go
but I
with
mean,
stuff like
then
that.
you have people like me, who just I'm not a big horror film person. You know what I mean? So that part I just didn't. That I told you from the beginning. When
So
we
like
talked
there's
about it, I
aspects
didn't-
of the horror movie that you don't want to see.
I didn't want to see that. I told Cody that.
But I
We
feel
talked
like-
about it, but I feel like
Like
it
how a
needed-
lot of people they don't want to
You
see a
need
dog
it.
die.
Yeah.
It needed that in the film.
Yeah, I mean, you do need it
I don't want to see a
because
dog die either because I love my dog. But,
it's part of the thing that draws your fear, though. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
no.
you
So
kinda
and
need
it did. It made me more afraid of the film,
yeah.
and that was the only scary part to me. To be honest with you, was that part right there.
And how they were
the
just
baby
like-
rolls over, it's like
Yeah, yeah.
There's that part, and then how they're just like fucking going at that kid, and all the blood just.
Yeah,
flying
that-
everywhere.
that was
intense,
intense,
It's
man.
just, like,
But
you just
when
got
I-
done playing the
that kid, whoever the fuck that kid was, I don't know.
He's
who he
played in
was.
some films.
Has he?
He's actually done a lot of.
He did a really good job of acting
Yeah.
scared and terrified.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
That sounded
Dude,
like
tell
to
me
I
that-
was like, that sounded very realistic
Yeah.
to what a kid would actually sound.
Tell me when you
I don't
heard
know
him
why I would-
scream, like especially was like, "You're not gonna hurt me." Right?
Yeah, and he started
Yeah.
crying.
Oh yeah, we are.
Like I put myself in that situation. Like that's scary.
My
you know?
stomach like just turned when that part happened.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
But
that
a
was,
part I liked, going back to the notes where we're talking about the strength of Ewan McGregor, when he's like, I'm gonna try something. When he finds her
oh yeah, that was
and he
pretty cool.
takes over her body,
And the
and
guy's
he,
like,
and he starts talking, having
Who
a
are you?
conversation.
Oh yeah. He's like.
That's why I say he's
chilling
long.
on the side.
Yeah.
It's like, so who are you?
yeah, that was
That's why I say he was stronger than what people are giving him credit for. Dude, he freaking was like, just
Yeah.
turned that car and just boom.
Yeah, that was.
What
pretty
rule was that on Zombieland? Was it number 2? Wear your seatbelt.
Wear your fucking seatbelt.
I'm
Well,
bad. I
so
don't follow
you know
rules.
another aspect that I really liked about this movie, how they did. So they have you have the villain, right? And they got to the point where they turned the fear around on the villain.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the villain was fucking scared. You know what I mean? Because the villain thrives off of
Dude.
fucking fear.
And I feel like,
And they turned that shit around, and she was the one that was fucking scared. And you're like,
well, and there was
Yeah.
moments where they were all scared.
yeah,
If you noticed, the old man where he was like, "You've seen empires," he was scared because he's never in his life thought he was gonna die.
it looks fucking painful to
It
die
did,
that
dude.
way. You know what I
The
mean?
way they went out was
Yeah.
like, but then when they started shooting people,
Oh yeah, that was
They-
kind of odd. Like that was.
I didn't think that was
seemed
the way they
out of
went out.
character for me. That
But-
part seemed really a
but-
stretch.
but I feel like,
They just started sniping motherfuckers.
but think about it this way. Like, okay, just from a normal human being standpoint, like if somebody just started popping off and we were in a crowd, like,
Yeah,
what would you feel? Like, you wouldn't be like, oh. No, you'd be like, fuck, trying to like get out of the way, like they were. And it showed their humanity. Does that make sense?
Well, it was like for that part too. It was kind of. I don't know. I
I like
wasn't
it.
a huge fan of that part, but I think in the book they don't die that way because they do kill off the whole group. They die of like a sickness. I think one of them gets fucking measles and they all fucking die.
I like
but-
the shooting better.
But yeah, like the shooting. I don't know. It just seemed out of character for Ewan McGregor. It's like, or for Danny. And,
Yeah,
like
but
it just seemed.
I think he's finally pushed
but
to
it
the point.
worked.
But
Yeah.
I think he was finally
Like
pushed
it
to
didn't
the
ruin
point where,
anything.
like, especially when they dug that kid up, like he's pushed to
Yeah.
the point where he's like, I can't run anymore.
Yeah.
And like even Tony tells him in that one scene, he's like, "What do I do? Give the girl what she wants," because he knows like there's one solution: you take them out or they take you out. And the only thing I thought kind of, well, I guess not funny, but or out of character was there. I guess the reason they wouldn't have met him and Rose the Hat was because he suppressed everything in his life.
Oh yeah, because she
For
kept
so
asking
long.
him. She's like, "How did we miss you?"
Yeah, how do we not find And he would have been a prime target. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Because he had the ability to lock lock spirits away and use them.
But dang, man, that was dope when he did those. And so going to the very end when she's talking to him, when she's talking to Uncle Dan, and he's a ghost, and she comes out to the mom and she's like, "Don't worry, they're okay.
Yeah.
Dad's okay."
I like
Dad's
how
okay.
I like how they played that.
That was dope.
That vibe of like when the dad first meets Danny.
Oh, and he's like,
And
ready
he's
to-
like, she's fucking 13. Like
Like,
I
he's
was
a
like,
pedophile.
I thought that was kind of cool because even when she
Because that's
first
what
goes
she-
and meets him and he's sitting on the chair,
he's
he's
like,
like, this is kind of like I shouldn't be talking to you. You're
Yeah.
a girl. I'm a
But-
grown man.
but-
It's
but
kind
I
of
think
weird.
that's-
I like how they played that
because that's how
It's
it
like
would
so
be in
realistic
society.
situation.
Tell me like that
People
wouldn't
would have
be.
been like,
Tell me that wouldn't be realistic in society.
oh yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of it for them too was they were in such denial because he was like, "Have you shown your parents?"
Yeah, she's like,
And they were
they
like-
think I'm getting normal.
And they're like, she was like, "They don't talk about it."
Yeah,
As opposed to like when he's about to kick Dan's ass, and then she shows him. He's
Yeah.
like sick, like he can't even pour the drink. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that was intense. That was crazy.
I was surprised when they killed her dad though. I didn't see that coming.
Well,
I was kind of
I
surprised.
honestly,
that he
saw it
actually
coming.
died.
It was a
Yeah.
horror movie.
I saw. Well, I didn't see
The black
that.
guy.
I didn't. Damn.
Jesus.
went
Well, they
straight
usually
to-
kill the black guy in a
That's
horror
fucked up,
movie.
man.
No, I'll tell you why.
No, but the thing I like about this movie is the diversity of the movie. That's what I was thinking the whole movie. I was like, wow, this is so great that they weren't just all, white people. Like
Like,
before.
are you trying
So
for
yeah, how
that?
It's like redemption.
But like how they
It doesn't
had,
work like vengeance.
how they had, the girl
Everyone was
and
different.
she was the powerful one. She honestly I feel like she was more of the main character.
She was the main character.
Yeah,
of the whole thing. So
I think that's how it was supposed to be, though.
Yeah.
but I mean, Danny did have his, his kind of story of kind of like a hero story.
He was
where
a dirty fucker in the
He
beginning.
was,
man. This is
he was
nasty.
a sicko.
Yeah, he was just
So-
it was like a
gross.
redemption story.
Yeah, so I'll tell you
Yeah.
why I thought the dad was gonna die. Because they went in just guns blazing and took out everybody. They
Yeah, I like
killed-
that. I like Crow Daddy's part too. He's like, some of your people died, some of my people died,
Just
People
like
had to
but
die
the
today.
outcome's the same.
Yeah.
I was like,
And that's why I kind of like I was like, all right, are they really gonna let this dude live? After their family, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But I did like the very end. So remember when Tony teaches Dan how to lock them away? And this is when I kind of figured he was gonna die. When Dan was gonna die. Because he was like, I'm gonna teach you a trick. And she was like, magic? But remember, Tony was the same way. He taught him the trick. And then when she tells Mom, Dad's okay, and we're gonna move forward. And then she walks by and the old lady's in the restroom and
She goes in there and does
walks
that.
in there calm, shuts the door and just locks her. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that was a great ending statement for me.
yeah.
I don't know why it was so simple, but it paid homage. But you
For
know what I
that
mean?
old lady, for them to do that, to not be afraid of that old lady, because that old
She
lady
was
scared
creepy,
me.
dude.
When I watched this movie as a kid, yeah. When you go back and
She's
go back to
creepy
it,
as an
Same
adult.
old lady.
yeah.
Same way.
She hasn't aged a day.
Not a day. Skin's still falling the same.
Yeah.
But where are we going with this? But I really thought it was so simple, but great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it paid homage to the people it needed to. Like it made Uncle Dan dying, justified. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he didn't leave her just to be unprepared. You know what I mean?
I think we hit that point.
Yeah.
Do that. All right. So, do you think this is a stretch? But
Do you believe in ghosts?
no, I'm gonna get to that.
Oh,
Hold
no.
on. Put another pin in it. Do you really think that people have
Abilities.
abilities
I do.
like that? That are out there right now that
I
have
know you
these
guys about
abilities?
to talk some mad shit, but I really do believe that.
Or do you think so
Okay, go ahead.
hear me out. So do you think there's people out there that have abilities like that and they know it and everything, almost just like the movie, maybe not as strong, but you know what I mean, some type of abilities like that?
I do.
Or
This is gonna be weird because I'm gonna be the skeptic on this one.
yeah, me too. I will be too.
Really? Oh shoot.
In a way. Yeah, like I said, I'm an optimistic skeptic. Or do you think that humans could potentially have these capabilities to where they can reach certain points where they can
Evolve to this
not-
kind of stuff?
or tap into it rather than they can communicate telepathically or use or move things with their mind or just have these fucking strong.
You can
Pretty
do the
much, do
first
you
one.
guys believe or not? I'm gonna start
No,
off.
because there's two different. There's
two different questions, but you're drawing the question out.
Yeah, no, I know, but
You can start the
I
first one.
wanted-
I could do the second one.
Well, no, I wanted to
Can I-
make sure that I explain this the right way.
Jay looks like he wants
we
to
got
jump
you.
on.
No,
I
Jay's-
got something for you guys.
Okay.
Alright.
So you're saying, like, read minds, basically, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, so this is true story. Facts. When I was living in Texas, me and my friend Josh used to skateboard together all the time, right? We were super close.
Hold on 1 second. Okay.
Oh,
This is gonna get weird.
Go ahead, keep going.
It's gonna get real weird real quick. So we'd skateboard together all the time, hang out, whatever. One day we're skateboarding outside this gas station. And we're chilling, we're skating, this girl walks by. Piercings, she's just kind of off to us, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember. We're young. She was weird. That
She was weird.
That was the thing, right? So he looked at her, I looked at her, she walked past us, and then I 100% believe I heard him say, wow, that girl was weird looking. So I told him, I was like, yeah, she was. And he's like, yeah, she was what? And I was like, you just said she was weird looking. And he's like, I didn't say that. I thought it. He's like, but I never said that out loud. And we just stared at each other and we're like, all right, we'll leave it at that then, because I 100% heard him say it.
You're a fucking freak.
He never said it.
I
This was
really
in Texas?
Yeah.
Oh.
no. I
That
really,
explains a lot.
It was in Texas.
You know what's
That's what
crazy? Not to that.
That's a pretty cool story, though.
Not to that. I guess. Not to the same level as that. But I think like I've had like a weird like, encounter like that growing up. When I was in high school.
Ooh, I
So-
remember this story.
And ironically the guy's name was Dan. There's this older man that lived
Well, now I know you're lying.
there's this older man that lived 3 blocks away from my parents' house. But I think I told you the first house I grew up in.
That asshole on the fucking corner?
No.
Oh.
So the first house I grew up in was
In Tularosa?
no in,
Oh, in here?
in Mossman.
Oh.
I didn't live at that house that my parents are at now originally. We lived like 2 blocks
Yeah, I
up.
remember.
So not the block, but the next
Yeah,
block
yeah.
over. So remember the guy that on their fence they had the New York Yankees thing painted on their fence. The symbol?
Yeah. I used to throw up every time I drove by there.
Anyways, that guy was like, we used to call him Dan the Man, but he was like a grandpa to us. Like we'd known him forever, right? He had passed away when I was probably in like the 6th or 7th grade. Okay, I swear to God, this is like the creepiest encounter I've ever had. It was like creepy, but I wasn't scared. Does that make sense? I don't know how to explain that. So I was driving home from school one day, and this man's routine every day, like at 3 o'clock when I would get off of school, his routine would be he'd be outside watering his grass, and every time we drove by or anybody drove by, he'd stop and he'd wave. And so I was driving home, and I don't know why, like it made me look over there, but this little old man, the same dude, was watering his grass, and I remember hitting my brakes because I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I remember like being scared, and this little old man stopped and he waved at me, and like I wasn't scared at that point, but it was just like, did I witness that? You know, but and I was the only person in my car, so I was like,
Wait, so this fucking dude is dead already?
he was dead at this point. So like he literally stopped and waved, and I just tripped out, and I stopped and I stared for like I'm pretty sure 2 minutes at least. But he was there, and like he never tried to approach me. But he was just there, and like he waved at me, like a comforting feeling, like it's okay.
So is this a ghost story or is this?
I don't know, like I'm just
or
saying,
is this
like,
like a human ability story? Because that's
but this is like going to like what we were saying about that.
I guess that's the first part to your
To your-
question.
what.
That was the first.
like people
that was
having
first
the
question.
ability to like. I'm not saying that I have the ability, but I think like the whole supernatural aspect. Expanding on what you were saying, I truly believe that humans have this. Not all of us, and maybe all of us do, to go into the potential of what you're saying. But I think there are humans out there that are tapped into that ability already. I think that there are people out there that have this like ability to feel like maybe a spiritual aspect of it, like ghosts, like where he saw people that were trying to harm others, or she saw it, you know what I mean? Like I do believe that there's people out there that have these abilities already, and I just don't think like, okay, back to like past episode where we talked about if you knew there was aliens and you wouldn't say anything, right?
Yeah.
Same thing here. Like if you had these abilities, are you really about to go tell all these people? What's gonna happen to you? You're probably gonna get locked up. in some kind of lab and they're gonna run all these crazy tests, right?
What I was talking about is more like communicating telepathically or communicating or like being able to move objects with your fucking mind, tapping into
that's
that.
what I'm saying though. Like, would you admit it?
Well, no, I don't know. I guess I never thought
Like,
about it. But I don't think, like what you were saying with the spiritual, like shit. Like I don't think that humans have that capability. Not even that they don't have that capability. I don't believe that people can do that because I don't believe in ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't think you're gonna see fucking old Farmer John that used to drive by. You know what I mean? Like I just don't see that.
I think that's.
I do think, however, that if like I can kind of see it more being more realistic that humans do have that capability because don't we use like only like
50%,
20, 10%? How many percentage of our brain do we use?
But
But and so there's that aspect where I'm like, okay, well we only use a part of our fucking brain, and I don't know how that works. I'm not a fucking scientist, but I see that more.
Like some people that are capable of using more of it.
Yeah, and I'm not even just some people. I think
Yeah,
I think if 10%.
I was
So I
off
think-
on that.
So I think if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? Because that we're all human, so we should essentially all have that same capability. It's just whether or not you are able to tap into it. Like, can you get to that level?
Yeah.
So
So
what
I
about twins?
Twins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they have that weird fucking.
mean, they're kind of made alike. You know.
Well, they started as one and then they ended up splitting. So
Have you
Yeah.
ever heard about those twins that eat their other fucking sibling in the
oh my
stomach?
god.
Ugh.
Do you?
I don't know. It's real.
Do you
I don't know if it's real. It
Do you-
sounds
But,
badass.
so
do
what's
you
up?
think it?
Okay, go ahead.
So obviously Cody doesn't believe
Mm-hmm.
that part, but do you? Because I know you're kind of skeptic on this idea.
So I'm skeptic on this idea, and it's weird because I don't want to like really. I haven't had an encounter like a deep encounter like you, Bryce. You know, like the way that I'm passionate about like other conspiracies. Like I can tell that this story is not of course made up, the one that you have.
Mhm.
But I guess what kind of can branch your question with what Bryce was saying is that I do know a lot of people who can sense bad things.
I think all humans can sense bad things. You know,
But
just
like,
dogs,
okay,
we
so
were
like
saying
for me,
dogs can,
like
yeah.
for me, I can't sense shit. You know, like
Oklahoma.
so Oklahoma. That's why.
That's why they have that.
But I know some people that are been like, so I know somebody who has like another sense that not like scientifically confirmed, but they could sense a dark presence when you can't see it, and then they'll turn around and then they'll come back to where they were because they felt it over there. So it's a big. I think a lot of people have a lot of special abilities like that. I think other people shine in different ways. I guess that's what kind of movie was kind of trying to push for, is that people will shine in different ways. That's why he calls it The Shine. Some people realize it, some people don't.
And
I feel like like you said, people shine in different ways. And I don't know if that's the right fucking term to use, shine, but we're gonna go with it because it sounds dope.
Mhm.
I do. Because I feel like some people have the ability to be more physically fit than others. Like they're just genetically they are more physically fit. So if you were to like come up with some fucking weird cocktail and juice them up that help them enhance that so that
So
they
like
could,
scientifically unlock more of their brain.
yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
So that's what I think
And
is
then
more
you have
possible.
people who are more geared towards like they shine in a different way, like they can
Like
communicate
naturally.
telepathically,
Uh-huh.
and so you juice them up and they can open up even more.
Uh-huh.
I can see maybe that aspect of it, but I don't see the spiritual thing where you're like, oh man, I can feel the ghost.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I
kind
mean?
of
I don't know,
far-fetched, but I
that's
think
it.
I believe that more
fucking
than I
out
believe
there.
in. I truly believe that more than I believe in like
like aliens.
yeah. And maybe it's just my spiritual aspect.
It's a pretty popular, topic.
But I'm also that person, like, I don't believe a lot of people shit on that. Like, the encounter I had, as crazy as it says, you could sit here and tell me, no, Bryce, it never happened. And I'll still tell you, like, it happened.
Bryce, it didn't fucking happen.
It happened. I don't know how to explain
so,
it.
And you know what's odd, though, is, like, I remember, as a kid, like, I've had some weird supernatural shit fucking happen to me that I like, legit can't explain, and I swear to God that it happened. Or, well, I mean, I swear to, Jeebus or whoever the fuck is out there. I don't know. I don't, me, we already talked about that. Like, I'm not a huge God guy, but, like, I swear to whatever the fuck, like,
The presence.
The trees outside. I swear to those trees outside, just as they're real.
The life in the trees.
Yeah. I swear, like, they happen. But at the same time, like, I don't even believe what I saw. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I think it's my mind fucking playing tricks on me.
Like, if it's not happening on a regular basis naturally, then
I just straight up, like, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't fucking believe that there's, because the thing is that if you like start thinking about ghosts, like, this is where the story falls apart for me, because people always see these fucking ghosts, right? And you're just like, well, okay, fine. You see human ghosts, and it's always. Do you ever see, like, fucking, like, and this is maybe Bryce is an exception to this because his story kind of puts a hole in my fucking theory here. So thanks. But, like, usually when people are talking about ghosts, you always hear about ghosts, like, from the olden days.
Yeah.
Like, I seen, old Mary Jane who lived back in the 1800s who hung herself in the fucking parlor's den or some shit. You know what I mean? It's never like, oh yeah, fucking John from across the street last year. He was
watering his grass.
So there's that part of it. But then you're like, okay, fine. If there's all these fucking ghosts hanging out, where the fuck are the goddamn ghost dogs? Where are the ghost cows? Where are the ghost ants? Where are the ghost bees? You're like, oh, just walking along. Fuck, man, I got stung by a goddamn ghost bee. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know how to explain it.
If there has to be if there's human ghosts, there has to be fucking animal and bugs and how many bugs have
you can't sense those?
What if you can't, like what he said?
Dog sense the dog ghost, human sense human ghost. Yeah.
I just completely agree with Jay on this.
No,
man, I really do.
No.
I don't think
it's ridiculous.
So this goes back to you guys, like,
ridiculous.
how you guys feel about me not believing in, like, a lot of the stuff we talked about in the last episode. Mm-hmm. You're acting just like me.
No, I mean, well, yeah, I mean, I don't believe
because
it.
you don't. But I just think that for the same aspect, if something like this did happen,
I think you're crazy.
Exactly. You wouldn't say it. That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't say it. That's why I'm saying, like, I believe people have ability, and I believe there's more people like Dan than there are, like, ever. I truly do. I think there's more people scared to say I can do these things than there are people that say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't see people coming out and fucking, just in the type of society we live in, like, people would be like, oh, I'm a fucking freak. Yo, Bryce, you ever hear about Bryce? He's a fucking weirdo, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, I mean, I get that part of it, like, people aren't going to talk about it. I just don't see it as being a real thing. Like, I don't know, man, like, the ghost fucking bandwagon, like, I just can't get on board. Like, cause you watch these stupid fucking ghost shows.
I see, and I don't agree with all of those. I don't believe in that shit, like ghost hunters and all that.
Well, yeah, but like
that's
they say,
the dumbest shit.
Well, they say that, like, they go into these places and, like, so do you?
Like,
I mean,
someone scratched me.
Well, no, I like, so they have all these shows, right?
Yeah.
But these places they go, people have had experiences who weren't on the ghost shows, but, like, obviously this place has developed a reputation for being a ghost.
But I think
hotspot. Do you believe in those places? Obviously, you don't believe in the ghost people who go and.
I don't believe in the people that do it because then they're.
But do you believe in
I don't believe in tormented souls that stay here and then they say that they're here because they never found their way.
Yeah.
I don't believe bad spirits being here.
Yeah.
I believe in soothing spirits like what Bryce has encountered. Because
soothing spirits.
Like
comes up to you, he's like,
they'll do
Dude, I'm
something
just gonna
just
see
kind
you.
of comforting. You know, it's
"So
scary.
why
but
would
it's
they be
comforting.
here? If
I
there's
believe-
good, there's bad.
I believe in both. I really do. I completely understand what you're saying
Oh.
because I was like, when I saw this man, I was like, "You're fucking dead." Like, what would you think? You know, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, and then like, I don't know how to explain it, but like when he waved at me, it was this comfort feeling. Like I was still freaked out, but I was like, "He's not about to do some crazy shit to me." You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what?
But I do believe in that.
But
That's-
So what happened to you?
I don't want to talk about it. Anyway.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, because I don't want to sound fucking crazy.
I want to rate this film so bad, but I'll wait till you.
We will.
You're gonna be surprised at me on this one. I really feel like.
Anyway, so the thing that you said you seen that guy, whatever. Well, like after my grandpa passed away, like I don't remember where I was fucking at, but I seen this dude and he was like walking along and he had like a similar jacket that my grandpa used to wear. He had like this like real light tan jacket that he used to wear, and he was wearing like the same type of pants. He had the same type of hair, and he looked exactly the same from behind. And he turned around, and his side fucking dude was just like my grandpa. And I was like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't remember. I think I was walking. I don't think I was driving. But then like he like turned and looked at me, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's not my grandpa." But it was like in a weird ass spot. Like he was just like walking by himself. So I was like, "Oh shit, maybe it was a ghost." You know? And then I'm like, "That's just some guy who looks like my grandpa. What the fuck?"
A lot of shit happens at your grandpa's house.
Yeah. So like but it just turned out to be some dude that
It's
looks
just-
like him. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a fucking ghost.
But I also believe that like, almost like how we always talk about, like if you're not invested in the film.
So if you're not investing in ghosts, you can't see them.
I just don't think that if you
How would a ghost know that?
listen, if you don't believe it, like you're doing everything in your mind to prove that it wouldn't be.
Since we were
I'm telling you, this is gonna be a great topic.
It's a great topic. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Lead with your golden nuggets, because I'm gonna give it a poop shoot.
What?
no, you ain't,
How do you know?
because I know you.
You don't know me.
All right, so I guess we'll get into the golden nuggets because these guys are afraid. So, who wants to go first?
Kyler,
I would give this a 9 already off the
he
top.
was so ready. Did you see that?
I feel like it has a lot of foreshadowing that I would get more into.
9?
Yeah, a 9 out of 10.
Oh.
I feel like it has a lot of foreshadowing that I didn't get off the top, because when I watch a movie and I'm really interested in it and it has a lot of like lore behind it, there's a lot of foreshadowing elements, especially like in I think Stephen King's movies, you know, except for It, but
That's great.
you know, he's the
Stephen
King of
King,
horror.
What It is a fucking. I like it, and I like the first one.
Yeah, so I want to
Second
get more
one was
into like the background
garbage.
and stuff like that. So I love this movie. I feel like it paid a lot of good homage to the original. I loved the ending. I love the dialogue. It kept me, you know, engaged throughout the whole movie. Even though it was slow, I was still engaged. So I love the movie.
What do you think?
You go.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I really liked it. I'm not a big scary movie guy, but I did enjoy the film. It wasn't so much that it was scary for me as like I think like we said, Stephen King likes to make you feel unsettled. You know, he's not afraid to touch those topics. I would give it a 7. I as much as like parts made me feel like uneasy, I felt myself constantly wanting to watch. Does that make sense? And normally, if I watch a movie that makes me feel like that, I'll just stop watching. I just would just be like, you know what? It's not something that I'm like really gonna push to keep.
What's the closest movie that you've done so far that was closest to a 10? Is it Star Wars? I think for you, it's a lot of
It was
entertainment.
Joker.
Yo, you gave the Joker like a fucking 8 or
I
something.
think I gave the Joker an 8.
I would have given the Joker a 6, but that's a different topic. But
Joker.
You weren't even invited to the show. Okay.
Give the Joker a fucking 3.
But this one would have been a 7 for me. I felt like it was a great show. I feel like if it went on and they did make like a third movie, I would still watch it just because this one brought me that much into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I agree with you. I would give it a 7 as well. I really, really enjoyed the movie. I really, really liked the movie a lot. It was I feel like the characters like got you super invested. The dialogue was great. Ewan McGregor was fucking on point. Abra,
amazing.
I can't remember
Both of them.
who's Abra.
She was-
What's her name? Here, I know. What's her actual name? Kayla. Kayla. Yeah, she was great. Like especially for a child star, like she was on fucking point.
Yeah. She did it.
I really liked.
It's very hard for kids to stay that
Yeah, like,
focused in character.
she was good, man. Because she was a badass chick, man.
She was
I would like. I hope my daughter's like
that confident.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, she was fearless.
So, like I said, Ewan McGregor was great. Even the Hat Girl.
She was
fucking good.
They picked great, like we talked about this in the last episode. They picked great characters that invested in their part.
Yeah.
Like they, even in the little battle scene when they were sniping people, just like the characters were so invested in who they were, you really liked their character.
Well, she was. I liked her because she was consistent throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like her
She
dialogue
never-
was like
she never
always
changed
the
up.
same. She's like, well, hello there. You know what I mean? Like all throughout the movie, like she had like specific things that were like very key to her character, and so it was. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the dialogue. The storyline was great. I like how they explained everything. It was just a good movie, man.
Yeah.
So I like
It was solid.
the character buildup was good. I like how they played out pretty much almost a whole fucking movie, and then threw in the fucking fan service there at the end, and it worked.
Yeah.
Like, it was just fucking good.
It
Like,
made
you're
you
like,
feel
fuck
good
yeah,
about
look, that's
everything.
shining.
Bam.
The only thing I didn't, there was, like I said, there was a few things I didn't like. I wasn't a huge fan of. I liked the battle. I did like it. I can't say I didn't like it. I just was kind of surprised that she was defeated so easily.
Yeah.
But I liked the way they did it. They still did it in a good way.
Yeah.
I think the director did a fantastic job. The little superpower or like superhuman strength thing, not a fan of that. But that was nitpicking really.
Mhm.
And then I was kind of bummed out that they didn't get do like.
A rendering.
I was about to say euthanize. Jack Nicholson. That is not the right term.
CGI.
Yeah, like make him younger, like they did during
Civil War.
like in Rogue One, what they did with Tarkin and
Oh.
Carrie Fisher. They made her young and all that stuff. Like
They could have done it.
they could have done
I'm
that.
kind of turned off by stuff like that. I mean, Tarkin, they did that like flawlessly. I was like, how
I
did
was
they
like,
do
yeah,
that?
didn't that dude die?
Carrie Fisher's was pretty bad.
I think you would like the film even more. I would have enjoyed to see that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because
Just a little spot. Like, I mean, they did so much fan service anyway, though.
Yeah.
I think if they were doing that, they should have just went with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they did that with her mom.
I think he would
I
have.
think they honestly.
It did seem like
it
that.
seemed like they did that with the mom.
It seemed like they did.
So maybe they just couldn't get Jack Nicholson. Like he was busy.
And
Yeah, he was like-
he might have just said like, "Tell this, like I'm not gonna do it." You know what I mean? Because we've seen in the past where actors will refuse
Yeah.
to
He's
do.
like, sorry, I'm booked. It's like, it's
Good days.
Yeah. I said good day. So, other than that, like those are like my only things that I kind of didn't like. Like the film wasn't like it didn't freak me out because it's so hard to get scared anymore because
You've seen everything.
you've seen everything.
I think that's your
I
me.
keep saying that
That's
all
your
the
me
time.
who doesn't.
Yeah, and so I watch a lot of scary movies. Like you don't.
I don't. So like when I watch stuff like that, it makes
Yeah.
it easy.
So for me, I've seen so many that it's hard to like legitimately scare me. But I like the idea of the movie because it was like 1408. Like you watch the movie and you're like, this isn't that scary. But then you get behind the topic and you're like, holy shit, this is
terrifying.
This is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like if you really think about it, like if this were to actually fucking happen to you, this is fucking terrifying. And that's how I felt with this movie. Like I was like, yeah, this is fucking terrifying. I like the whole thing where they threw in the addiction thing. And they had that kind of vibe going through it. You know what I mean? Like this is a really good fucking movie.
They had really good highs to
Yeah.
this film.
So
it just kept you entertained.
yeah.
And even for people like I would suggest people that don't like scary movies, I would suggest you watch it because it wasn't scary in that aspect of like just your average like jumpy film. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was scary with a good storyline, like a great storyline. I'd say. You know what I mean?
I think I could maybe even bump up my score. I think I could give it an 8.
Would you?
That's the highest I think I've ever given anything.
I think it is. Honestly, would you guys watch it again?
Yeah, I'd watch it again.
Honestly, I'll tell you guys the truth.
I've only watched it the once, but I think
Honestly, when we talked about like the whole, like what I said I didn't like about the baby scene, I honestly thought that I was gonna watch it today and never watch it again
because of that.
because of that scene. Honestly, but after watching it, like I was just telling my wife and like even my mother, and I was like, "You guys gotta watch it." Like it was a good film. I was like, "There's gonna be parts that really throw you that you're not gonna like, but I would definitely watch it again."
Would you purchase the movie?
I would.
I did.
I would.
I did. I think it's gonna be we thought like every movie we watch, one of us has already purchased the movie, so we should all watch it.
Yeah.
Because we in a way we kind of try to stick to movies that have already come out.
Yeah.
And
So-
didn't this movie? It didn't do too good in the box office, right?
No, it did alright. It actually did pretty good, man. It got pretty good. I think I forgot to mention this in the very beginning, but it got a 77 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Great
It got a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb. IMDb. I always fuck that up. On Roger Ebert, it got a 3 out of 4. So, and then in the box office, the budget was $45 million. It did 72.3. So it did pretty fucking good, and people like Jay even said it's done really good with everybody. So a lot of people like the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It says right here, Google users, out of all the Google users, 88% of the people liked it.
That's
89.
It's
gonna be 89.
a high
89.
percentage. That really is.
I'm gonna go like this
So
shit.
liked it.
So yeah, and I would purchase it. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
It was a
It
good
was
movie.
worth it.
So
Definitely was.
all
I did
right.
like it.
All right.
Well,
I think we've discovered the topic for next week already. So
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure because Jay said he was going to get involved. So
It's so off topic from like
It's
doing
okay.
that as a video and not leading up with a video.
I think it's going to be
Maybe we can find a story that kind of leads us into it.
Into it,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, with that said, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Stay tuned for the video next week, and
If you like the topics, guys, give us a like and subscribe if you already haven't.
leave us a comment.
If you don't like something, tell us what you don't like. I mean, we'll hear it out. You know, if you liked it, tell us what you do like. We'll keep doing it. You know what I mean? But keep
All right.
tuned, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Later.